Yes.
with the clone having to farm up so much before being able to participate in fights. This is a Hellcurt.
Yeah.
Can't push. See what you're trying to hit.
Yep.
It's not gonna work.
This Zen mastery.
Oh, yeah.
As we say it, the spider sense.
The spider sense
You
is
can just
taken away
pop
from
your
Hellcurt.
ultimate from everywhere and just
Yeah.
hope for the best.
Maybe.
Right? Just hope for the best.
It's game number
Let's
2
go.
coming right up for this series of Sunsparks versus Team VEC Fantasy Main. This is amazing.
This is probably. Is this the last game
Oh,
for Team Vietnam?
is it gonna be there?
Is it the last game? Because again, when you play the main stage, when you know that it is the last game, you will definitely play it safe. That's why they do have the sustain lineup. But I'm guessing that it's going to be hard for this Hellcurt.
Yeah.
Because he
For
is
the
the
series
one to
of
plan out
Sunsparks versus-
Sunsparks
Yeah.
from
Team
side lane and from
VEC Fan.
everywhere.
So actually, there is a different approach for VEC Fantasy Main. We're gonna see the Celestial Palace this time. Blue side, that's VEC Fantasy Main. From Vietnam, red side, that's Sunsparks. But of course, the members of Team Philippines. And now, moments for VEC Fantasy Main.
Yeah.
It's getting more difficult by the second
It is.
for Team Vietnam.
Yes, remember that we do have the championship Kufra for Team
That
Sunsparks.
is also true.
And I do feel that Raflesha is one of the players who is top dog in playing this hero. Will Sunsparks eliminate
All
VEC
troops
Fantasy
deployed.
Main or VEC Fantasy Main? Can they push this to game number 3? LBJ is the one using the Chango. And same tactic as you've
Same.
said, the bang 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 strategy
Your fate
for Team
has been
Philippines.
sealed.
VEC Fantasy Main, this is important. They want to go for the invades this time.
I like it.
The pressure against this Granger already, Jay. Flesha will have to back down this time.
They will give D-Max the Crimson Lizard, but Fulzaken is there. He knows, but Team VEC Fantasy Main is, they are also ready for
Wow.
the potential ambush of this Kaja.
But they are not getting anything out of this. Yeah,
Yes.
they do fend off the members of Sunsparks. But if you look at it, they did not take the buffs.
Yeah.
So if you think clearly,
They're playing it safe.
Sunsparks, they're still pretty
Yeah.
happy with what happened. Oh, the stun!
Oh,
Very
my.
nicely done. But of course, the crab coin, it's still gonna favor
Hyde.
Hyde. That's the Esmeralda.
That is a clutch Stardust dance there for Hyde to get this extra 150 gold from this crab coin. Meanwhile, Tini having a high win rate with this X-Borg. Like what you've said, the Team VEC Fantasy Main, they do want to play it safe. Not really risky on taking the Crimson Lizard, even though there were 4 of them on that specific venue.
Don't want to be overly aggressive against your opponents. Nice steal coming out from the Chango you were talking about, this Manjin. The buff steals courtesy of the Meteor Shower.
Turtle
Yes.
resurrecting
Sunsparks
soon.
don't even need the retribution at this point.
Yes, and we can now feel the tension here.
The tension
for
is high.
VEC Fantasy Main, as they're very confused on going like, what buff do we take first? Sunspark is always there to either steal it or just contest it and just bait out skills or just force out something out of VEC
Oh.
Fantasy Main. That is the last hit.
There's the
coming
Dark
in.
Knight Pulse.
There's the Dark Knight Pulse, as you've said that. So now
Raflesha with the ultimate.
Raflesha with a 4-man Siren's Revenge, and that will give Sunsparks the first blood, make that 3 heroes falling down for Team Vietnam.
Championship Raflesha Kufra now showing up in the big stages, in the world stage. Catching 4 members, I think, or even 3. We're gonna see the replay.
Oh
there
my,
you go,
there
beautiful
you go.
plays. That's 4. Pinned down against the wall, stunned up and controlled by the Tyrant's Rage of this championship Kufra.
That wasn't even a wall, that was the edge of a wall, and that's how you use The Kufra, ladies and gentlemen. 1-0-1.
Raflesia says, now kiss.
Now kiss.
And onto the bottom side of the map, he's actually trying to control the members of Back Fantasy Main. There's the Death Sonata already actually.
Alright.
That is
very unusual. Here we go. That is, of course, the Dark Knight Force. Tremble, says the Hellcurt. But again, the damage is quite low for the side effect.
Ultimate.
Tyrant's Rage. This is Back Fantasy Mage White. But man, they're not doing anything because they do lack the damage. Man, Sunsparks. Only one hero will die, but I guess Back Fantasy Main will take that.
And Renzo up top will be able to push up the turn. You have to take note. Did purchase the mask. So this is a very heavily farmed hero. And Kelvin J, the king, once again, with the steal on the buffs.
The steal is real. It's the real deal. 3-1 Back Fantasy Main on a very tight situation right now. They need to get Lucky going. They need the Hurricane Dance in order for Height to land the ultimate, to land the Falling Star Moon and land all of these damage. Because, man, it is still early for Broly to get online.
Oh, the stun connects on the T-Max, but T-Max push up the shield. This is the Shadow Mask picked up by the Kaja, so Fusaken can use this conceal to initiate against their opponents. They're actually in here. Fusaken jumps, but will not commit to anything. They still want to take this turtle, but they are doing everything. They're taking away everything.
Even the Gargoyle,
Even the Gargoyle from Back Fantasy Main.
Wasn't doing anything to them. There you go. That is the Hurricane Dance. Is this the Back Fantasy Main show? Let's see. But again, that is another counter goal from the bouncing ball of Team Sunsparks. And they're chasing Broly. No damage.
No
on the side
damage.
Of Back Fantasy Main.
Look at Kel VJ actually manning up there. Is Raflesia with the stretching. Not gonna land on anything, but the turtle will be taken by the tap. That's gonna be in favor of Sunsparks as they chase Team. This time the stun connects. The snow is there as well. The control is real and they take out the export.
The setup was good, but the damage is bad.
Not enough.
Not enough damage.
Sunsparks are winning these fights that Back Fantasy Main are starting because, like you said, they don't have the damage. And Fusaken will just wriggle away. The stickers are out.
This is obviously a very uncanny way to play the Hellcurt. Usually we see Hellcurt just posting out the side lane, wait for his power spike, and then he will join team fights. But Back Fantasy Main too pressured right now. They're using the Hellcurt, but again, it lacks the damage. So what can they do? They're just standing there and they just do immediate disengage.
Even with the usage of the Dark Knight Falls Mangine, they're not getting the advantage. Now, team, my goodness, the wraparound coming up from Renzo. Can they take the expert? Yes, they will. There's Raflesia, the stun. It will not connect this time, as Lucky will use. I think that's the sprint.
Yeah.
From this Akai.
I like the defense coming in from Sunsparks. They don't want to give this mid-tier tower, of course. Oh my
goodness.
Guacamole, holy moly. I don't know what I've said, but Raflesia, he came to play.
He came to play here in Malaysia. That's Raflesia. With the stuns 2, 0, and 3 for this guy. Now he still is being a bug against Back Fantasy Main. But have to back down right now. Being chased by T. There's the last insanity. And it will be there to burst down. Finally stop Raflesia.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
Alright. Back Fantasy Main says, hey, time out. Time out.
Time out.
Time out. Wait.
Let's chill.
Let's chill. Let's chill. We need to get this turtle. We had Raflesia. Raflesia is down right now. 9 seconds to the dead timer.
Meteor shower, by the way.
Meteor shower. Oh, man. The Kaja sealing the turtle. But again, this is Broly in the bottom lane.
Okay. Again, this is just like last game, right? They are not afraid, but while it's happening, the Falling Star have to be used to back away. Contra Inferno, they're marching forward. Sunsparks, they want to kill Esmeralda, and they will. Double kill for JP, making a triple as they take a Lolita. My goodness, Sunsparks.
Ruthless aggression.
Ruthless aggression,
from
indeed.
This Kaja, from JP Fusaken. Sure, you can put all of the damage.
The stun of Flash are going to swing it once again. Teen will have to back away. The Tyrant's Rage will not connect, but it doesn't matter. They still take the turtle. The turret, I mean.
There you go, and they're eyeing Broly.
Broly.
Where are you?
Broly!
Where are you, Broly?
Oh,
Oh, that swag play!
no! Oh!
I'll give that a 10. I'll give it a 10, ladies and gentlemen.
10 out of 10. We'll
10
see
out
the
of
U
10.
mobile replay.
Look at the hand time, man. Oh!
The hand.
The hand time.
Back time, back
The
time.
hand time, back time from the first skill.
Sunsparks.
Dude, I think that Renju knows. He just wants to do some. He just wants to do some swag.
He just
Right?
he just want to pull it back with the sights, right?
With the sights,
Now,
right?
another connection, and of course the damage is real. Sunsparks, they get everything that they want. This game, 28,000 gold compared to 21,000 of Back Fantasy main. And if you look at JP, that's 4-0-6, 10 out of the 12 kills, including this Granger.
Yes, it's because of the balloons.
It's the Balut.
I do feel that
Oh,
it's
no
about the
way.
balloons from coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
Rafflesia, man.
And another coast-to-coast play, the Dark Knight Force has to be forced out by Vec Fantasy main just to not be lassoed by
Yes.
Fuzaken.
What can Back Fantasy main do? They're really having a hard time. They cannot initiate. They can't do something. The tension is real. Team Sunsparks, they're eyeing this Lord. T-Max is here. That is lucky. Will he be lucky? No. He ain't, ladies and gentlemen. More heroes.
Oh, this is
coming
good
in.
though. Esmeralda is here in the middle of the frame,
There you go,
shutting
there you
down the
go.
Granger. That's a double kill for the Esmeralda. This is the Hellguard this time. Can they go for the cleanup play? No.
Dude,
it looks like LBJ.
Rafflesia.
Rafflesia is still here, receiving the deadly poison stingers. Will be taken up by the Django. Rafflesia has to run away. Esmeralda connects with the Django this time. The shutdown, 3 kills for Esmeralda. That's really good for Back Fantasy main.
All right. And this account back hide. Can't hide from me, bro. There you go. Amazing. That is
All
the
right,
mentality. And that is the mega kill. Hyde is now here. He is now online. He has his power spike. 4-2-1. Quite a fight right here.
Very nicely done coming out from Vec Fantasy main. They know that only what they have to do is to look for the backlines. Have Hyde go to the backlines with a falling star moon and pick up his opponents, who's again overstepping his bounds. And Sunsparks, oh, what are you doing? You're letting go of the control of the mid game.
Yes, indeed. Back Fantasy main still got this.
They still are
They
alive.
still are alive.
They're still alive.
7-14. This is what you. This should be the discipline for Team Sunsparks, not to overcommit if you have the early game advantage. Even though Broly is not here, this is still the Hellcurt. Whenever he goes for the Dark Knight Falls, he can just immediately back up,
Yeah.
and my job here is done.
And look at this, Vec Fantasy main, they've already split the deficit. They cut the deficit. So they say. 3,000 now. Rafflesia finding 2 members of Vec Fantasy main was stunned up. But just so none of the members of Vec Fantasy main, they're actually staying in here. Not scared at all from the possible initiations from Sunsparks.
All right.
You have to take that Fuzaken did buy the necklace of Durance.
Yeah,
So
to
the
counter.
counter the healing.
To counter. They need
Pressure.
more damage right now. Vec Fantasy main, Lucky, popping that ultimate. Oh!
Domino Blast connects. Esmeralda jumps in. The damage is there. Unstoppable. Is this Esmeralda? That's going to be JP down for the counter. Rafflesia
Okay.
saving his teammates, using the ultimate just to let Sunsparks back down.
Broly is here coming in. Here comes Renju with the side, ladies and gentlemen. But Hyde and company, they're
Renju.
polishing them. They're portionizing him. But the king himself with the meteor shower, showering onto the heroes of Vec Fantasy. But the fight is not over. That is the silence for Broly.
Oh no, there is Renju still fighting no more contra the Inferno, but it's still, the life still is real. There is gonna be KLBJ Rafflesia with the shutdown. Oh my! Sunsparks, that's a bloodbath against Vec Fantasy main.
Rafflesia, the championship Cupra. Eyeing Broly. Where are you going, Mr. Broly?
Okay.
Okay, coast to coast. That is the sidestep from Broly. That is the blink. That is, of course, the ball.
Meteor
The
shower from the
is
king.
here.
From the
Meteor
king.
shower. The king. Rafflesia with a good lob to the king.
The love from Reflesha to help his teammates. The stun will not connect, and the stickers will be popped. While this is happening,
Man.
Sunsparks, they're taking care of the Lord.
This is just Reflesha being Reflesha, man.
Just Reflesha things.
Okay, is that the last hit? No! The Numinum Blast won't do anything.
JP is alive.
still alive. And the king wrecking havoc. Oh my! That is the first Lord for you, Sunsparks.
Wow.
Having
This
a
game,
good advantage.
imagine this game, I thought that it will be one-sided after the first few minutes, but
It's
Fantasy
not.
Main, they're really showing up this time.
Yes.
They're showing resilience against the Filipinos, but Sunsparks is able to find that very important victory, that very important objective, taking the Lord this time.
JD, oh
Reflesha
my,
once again.
Reflesha once again. That is, of course, a Dark Knight Force. Falling Storm coming in for the Esmeralda, but then Sonata, it's just too much. That is the first kill of the Kaja, hitting onto 2. And the class will slay heroes. Killing spree coming from the meteor shower.
3 down.
3 down. 3 down. Soldier down.
Soldier down.
And Sunsparks. And they will go out with the bang. They get the bang, 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 as the song says. Sunsparks, they will go to the next round.
It's all about the long-range damage. The King showing up. JP with the blaze as well. Back Fantasy Main, they fought hard. They gave everything they could, but they just can't win it against the Sunsparks. Sunsparks will take the game 2-0. Wow. So much intensity there, Magine.
The Filipino pride is alive.
But the Reflesha Kufra,
The
man, I
Reflesha
think
Kufra is
that is one
it's
for the
just-
books.
It's just too real.
It's just too real.
It's
You
just
saw
too
that.
real.
You know what?
That's
If
it.
there will be a highlight reel of that game, I want to see, I want to look, I want to expound on how well he fought against that fight where they almost lost their own jungle,
Yes.
their own buffs. The Reflesha was just so amazing this game.
Oh man, that's just a championship Kufra, bro.
Okay,
He's not the championship Kufra for nothing,
definitely.
right?
Definitely not.
Even chasing Broly in the last stages of the
Yeah.
game.
He
Right?
knows that KelVJ is there.
And he knows that he can reach it.
He can reach him. I mean, there's the Dark Knight Falls, but they're not afraid because only they have to do is what? Okay, I'll tell you where he is. Just point where I tell you.
Yeah.
And this,
There's the sportsman handshake
the
here.
handshake, of course.
The handshake, of course. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to Sunsparks, but still GG's to Vec Fantasy Main. Like we said, they gave their all, but it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. It's all because of the balloons.
It's all about the balut.
It's
Premature
all about the
duck egg.
protein. The free Peking duck. The free Peking duck nutrients from the Sunspark squad.
Oh yeah, they did.
Paying off, man.
Whenever they lose,
They
only,
eat balloons.
They eat balut. That's
They
the
eat
only thing that they can
balloons.
eat.
Yes.
With some shakes in there, perhaps, but it's strengthened.
And then the knees.
The knees,
It's all
yeah.
about the
That's an
knees,
expression,
bro.
right? Strengthen your knees. It means make sure that you're sturdy. Make sure that you're rigid.
Yes.
And that is what made Sunsparks this strong. They're so rigid because of the balut.
Man, the protein. What
The canes.
the protein is the key.
But talk about
Protein
that
is the key.
strategy
But we'll
from
talk
Suns.
about that later. Kidding aside, guys.
My goodness, man. Gene.
Sunsparks.
The
go
bang, bang,
into the
bang
next
strategy.
round. The bang, bang, bang strategy. Shout out to all the people who are watching. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do that at home,
They
but
have-
it's a free country. It's okay.
Back Fantasy Main, and you thought that it will be a one-sided game, but of course, the side of Sunsparks, they made it work. KelVJ, the king.
The king.
734 gold per minute.
Getting the early cut,
Yeah.
and then immediately rotating to the Crimson Lizard.
Yeah.
And when they did see Fuzaken in the bush, they immediately disengaged.
Yeah.
And Fusaken was alone there, and with that you can just sense, hey, these guys are nervous.
Yeah.
You can do this, right?
Because I think I know where you're getting at, right? Because the early game dictated who will win the mid game. Because this is a Chango versus Esmeralda matchup. You really need those buffs.
You
At
need
least on the
those
side of
buffs, right?
Esmeralda. What you have to do is deny Esmeralda from invading your own jungle and then invade the jungle, the buffs of this Esmeralda. The reason why Sunsparks are able to contain the early to mid game was because they were able to secure their own jungles, but also invaded against their opponents. You saw that Meteor Shower play during,
It's
I think, the
just-
2-minute
yeah.
mark, and was able to take out the spinner. I mean, the core guard.
The core guard.
It wasn't core guard. It was
It's
the Mother
Mother
Shocker.
Shocker.
It's the Mother
It's
Shocker.
the Mother Shocker and the Baby Shocker, or just the Baby Spinner.
Yeah.
But again, every time that the Meteor Shower is online, KLBJ is just present inside that Mother Shocker pit.
Look at that ultimate.
Look at these highlights,
The
guys.
Tyrant's Rage that connected onto 4 members of the side of Vec Fantasy Main. This is Raflesha showing us one of his best heroes indeed. It's the
Yeah.
Luminous only connecting onto 1, but I have to consider JP as well as KLVJ's positioning. They're so good
So
in
good.
terms of their positioning.
They're so good.
Wow.
They know how to play the bang, bang, bang
Oh,
strategy.
definitely, yes.
All right.
They
Let me-
were,
yeah.
and the turtle, of course, is always in favor of Sunsparks, right? As
Yeah.
well as the Lord. That's
They
why
know.
they get these extra economic advantages against their opponents. And you know that this is where they ban from.
And they know how to set it up.
Exactly.
And Batman Raflesha is just way too good in this Kufra.
Oh, yeah. This is the
Look at
first
this.
punish.
Lots of Kufra highlights here, dude.
Oh, sure.
That
sure.
is, yeah, that is the first punish, and that is, of course, the opening
Yeah.
for the side of Team Vec. But man, again, the ruthless aggression of this Kaja, JP, and KLBJ. Look at this. This is the swag play.
The swag play.
The swag play.
The
Look at
swag
that.
play.
Oh,
Beautiful.
the hang time.
Hang time, bang time.
Hang time, bang time from the Tams. Renjo building on the show.
This is, however, the start of what could be the comeback of the team of Team Vec Fantasy Main, the start of what could be a comeback, right? They were able to flush off the Granger and the Chango on the back lanes.
Yep.
KLVJ will survive this, but eventually you know that Esmeralda is getting what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Okay, Chango did not survive right there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
I want to see the next clash.
The
because
next clash.
I'm sure this is where you can see the magic of the championship Kufra.
There
Where
you
you
go.
see the jump to save his teammates. Then he will go back, wait for his Tyrant's Revenge to be online once again, and then pick off another member of his opponents.
Exactly. Exactly. And look at the positioning
Look at
here
that.
of KLBJ. This was just too.
Raflesha, man.
This was just too perfect, man.
So he will recall and then go for the arrival play
Yep.
to help his teammates once again.
And then
Watch out for the arrival. Watch out for the arrival
Arrival
play.
from behind, right?
From behind, indeed. There you go. Oh,
Oh
my
my
goodness. This guy
Raflesha.
is all over the place.
You just don't give the Kufra to him, bro.
Never, ever.
If he has that arrival play, like his mobility, it's just too much.
Oh, yeah.
You have the range from the Tyrant's Rage. You have the bouncing ball with the extra movement speed from this arrival.
Look at the Shadow Mask into the Divine Judgment
Yeah.
play coming out from this Fusaken Kaja. Was able to catch up the X-Borg. And now, this is just relentless aggression coming out from Sunsparks. They know that they have the advantage already. The -1 helped them a lot, and Hellcurt wasn't available in that fight. So it was a 4 versus 5 that evidently they won. Actually, a 3 versus 5 if you take into account the Kaja pickoff.
Oh my.
So many good
highlights, so many good
smart plays
Yeah.
coming out of Team
Team
Sunsparks.
Sunsparks.
Oh yeah.
Playing their cards right.
Mhm.
And man, I think they are clearly a threat for their next enemies, which is Burmese Ghouls.
Oh yeah,
if I'm not
that
mistaken.
is Burmese
If I'm not
Ghouls.
mistaken.
GG's to Vec Fantasy Main. I think they still did a very good job. They were able to make it to the playoffs, and I think that's an achievement in itself. But
Congrats.
they will have to bow down to the Filipinos, the Sunsparks this time. And Sunsparks, like you said, they will advance tomorrow for the lower bracket. They are up against Burmese
Burmese
Ghouls.
Schools. Congratulations to Sunsparks and congratulations to the Filipinos who are watching right now. But I think Our time here is over.
Time is
Mr.
over.
Wolf, let's bring it in.
Let's bring it up. It's Matt Jin and
interview.
Wolf Connection, Action Jackson. Thanks so much for watching. But now we're gonna hop into the interview. Okay, that is not yet the
Yet the interview.
Not yet the interview.
That is not yet the interview. All right.
It's just practice. Just practice. Okay, rehearsals.
We're practice. We're playing with
We're
you.
playing with you.
We're playing with you.
We like this a lot.
We like this a lot. We do this a lot.
We will never let you go. We're
We
gonna
do this a
cast
lot.
all day. We're gonna cast all day.
Yeah. Okay, now it's time for the
It's
real
time for
interview.
the-
All right.
Kami berada di belakang pentas bersama dengan Reflizia daripada pasukan Sun Sparks. Well, Reflizia, it's been a tumultuous journey here. Any jitters, any nerves coming into this world stage?
We're really excited in every fight. We are ready to enjoy every game. That's why we always fight as a team.
All right, it was a nearly perfect game coming in just now in that matchup. What was the game plan coming in for that particular best of three?
The game plan was to enjoy and work as a team. That's why all of us speaks, all of us commands, all of us cooperates in every decisions, in every commands we make.
Now with this game in the books already, everything is done and dusted for now. What are you looking forward to next?
More challenge. I think teams are stronger in the next stages. That's why we need to get ready. I think Burmese Ghosts, if I'm not mistaken, they're really a very competitive team.
All right, before we go on a break, any shout outs or any words of encouragement for our viewers at home?
Special thanks to Mr. Bernard Chong. Thank you for supporting us. To the supporters of Sun Sparks, thank you so much. My family, my girlfriend, thank you. Okay kayo.
Now that was very matalino indeed. So itulah dia ayat-ayat dorongan daripada Reflizia, wakil daripada Sun Sparks. Jangan ke mana-mana, kami akan kembali selepas rehat ini.
Hi, we are Brand Sun Sparks.
And we are here to play
MLB Charades.
Xin chào, chúng tôi là ESC Mastermind. Hôm nay chúng tôi đến đây để chơi mobile điện hình Bang Bang series.
Cô Dương Bobby Group. Impunity KA. Chúng ta còn chia cặp và lên chúng tôi đăng ghép. Mobile Bang Bang Sone. Hi, we are Bobby Group. Okay, next. Misita. Lemon. Lancelot. Kiri mo eh. Kiri Franco. Yeah, Franco. Yeah, Franco. Franco. Degree. Aja. Dingin. Dingin. Dari jangan. Haraguda. Fun. Dicky. Dicky. Lanjut lah. Leslie. Okay. Leslie. Brandon. Leila. Leslie. Yes, correct. I lost. Rock. Wait. Akai. Below. I will protect my people. Hi, Lock. Yeah. No. I don't. Yes. I was bingo. Iko. Yes. Xbox, great. Next one. Chow. Okay, go. Joe.
We finished the MLBB charades in
2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Đội chúng đội Fantasy Main vừa chơi xong game show mobile Thần Bang Bang. Đội chúng tôi rất là vui và hứng thú khi chơi game show này. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
Our record is 3 minutes and 22 seconds, and see you in the championship.
Our goal is 3 minutes and 4 seconds.
Welcome everybody to the M1 playoffs here today at the Axiata Arena. It's looking real good today. Cameras are clean and Fireman is ready, but are you ready for some exciting games? My name is Gideon Q. Here with me today is going to be Aaron Contra Chan casting together with me. How you feeling, dude?
Well, I'm feeling really great. I'm absorbing all the energy coming from the crowd. They have been definitely great throughout the entire day, and they're not even losing energy heading towards our very final one for this series for today. But of course, we're going to be looking at 10 Seconds Gaming Plus coming up online. And of course, let's have a look into the bracket to explain it a little bit further onto where it's stat. Now, of course, the final series, we'll see Axis Esports go against 10 Seconds Gaming Plus, as I mentioned. And in the first game, Sunspark pull up a great upset against VEC Fantasy Main, and they are keeping the Philippines up alive on towards the semifinals on the low bracket.
Yeah, but remember, this is always going to be a struggle no matter what. Being in the bottom of the brackets, the risk of being eliminated is just so high. So every game is going to count. They need that momentum. But today, we're going to be looking at Axis versus 10 Second Gaming. The winner of this best of 3 is going to be moving on to face Todak here. And again, it's unfortunate for a lot of the Malaysian fans because if they lose out here, they get eliminated. But if they move on, one Malaysian team is going to get eliminated no matter what.
That's definitely the nature of the competition that we're looking at, and that's pretty much fair play as well. Fair. As we're looking at the upper brackets, we're also seeing 2 Indonesian titans right up above, Rex Regium Kion, as well as EVOS Legends. So what goes up must come down.
Exactly, and more importantly, these they're looking even better than they are in the group stages. They definitely revved up the engine coming into this playoff.
Now, what are you expecting heading in towards this sort of series? Because we're talking about the playoff runs here, which means teams are getting sent home, and wow. We got to talk about both sides here. Axis Esports, really great aggression, and they usually will pressurize every lane from the early game all the way through the late game. And of course, there's also 10 Seconds Gaming. But before that, let's have a look towards the introduction videos of both sides.
I think more importantly, before we get even close to those videos, we have to kind of, highlight the fact that 10 Second Gaming came from Group D. But let's have a look at the video. Once again, here you have it. 10 Seconds Gaming coming up to the stage in Axiata Arena. Look at these boys. They've got the flag. They've got the support here in Malaysian turf.
We also have a huge support for Kozu as well. We heard the fans roar. And now, of course, the main roster is coming into the stage here, getting closer and closer to the trophy. But first, they must take down one of the home favorites right here, Axis Esports. This is definitely not an easy task. And Axis Esports were the champions of MPL MYSG Season 2. We talk about the dark horses here, and this horses can definitely run hundreds of battles, and who knows, that might just bring them all the way to the glorious run of securing that title.
I think what's really scary for 10 Seconds Gaming here is, more importantly, that they are not on home soil anymore. They don't have that advantage. The crowd isn't going to be cheering for them as hard as they should be, because most of them are going to be cheering for Axis Esports every single kill. Hopefully, they don't get demoralized by that. They keep a strong mental, and we don't know whether they're a stage team, but maybe just that anticipation might invigorate them to go that extra mile.
But we do know that there's a lot of all these fans here who is just up for great games no matter what. And from 10 Seconds Gaming Plus, they have definitely garnered, rallied up so many fans across the globe.
So much support, yeah.
Their incredible series on the group stages was definitely fantastic. Well, I can't elaborate how great it was because every single one of them have some pocket picks coming out with that 9 secrets up in their hand. Don't worry. The flag is soaring high, being held by all the fans surrounding Asiato Arena, waiting for their heroes to come on by. For all these high fives coming up from members of Axis Esports, consisting of many of the members of Reborn previously.
Yeah, and these guys, I mean, they've come a long way to get here, and now they're going up against the formidable 10 Second Gaming. We know that the Group D was the group of death. Each team representative is just so insanely good at the game. But 10 Seconds Gaming, coming from that group alone, I mean, they've definitely garnered some attention for a lot of the pro teams who don't have a lot of information on them. Here's the lineup here for those who don't know. It's Lassen, Lung, Evil X, Rin, and Scott, who's going to be playing for their main lineup against 10 Second Gaming.
We'll be keeping our eyes closed on how Lung as well as Rin go on that tag team duo to take down many of their enemies, as they love to go in with those sort of the high risk, high reward sort of the picks. As I would think that Hellcurt is definitely being sought after by Axis Esports.
Yeah, and we can already see that the meta is shifting here at the M1 tournament itself. People are trying to adapt. People are trying to evolve to see what's the better matchup, what's the better counter pick. The game is evolving as we speak. Every single time we go into one of these best of threes.
Yeah, and when it comes down to best of threes, it's really tough because as compared to a best of 5, at least you do have a little bit of that room to breathe for the very least. Like, if you lose one game, you say, hey, maybe we can still get ourselves well composed by game 2. But they're always on the edge of their seat. But now, Axis Esports Club, and what I'm thinking is that they do have a lot of similar picks as compared to 10 Seconds Gaming Plus, in that sort of sense that they like to actually go for Harif. They like to go for that Lunox as well. So I think that when it comes to those mage carries, as well as all these frontliners, they're going to be having pretty much a similar lineup. But let's have a look at 10 Seconds Gaming Plus's lineup.
Yep, Totaka, Papa, Buyan, Sure, and Tomemo going to be for 10 Seconds Gaming. That is the lineup that they're going with right here. I'm excited to see whether these boys are ready to take up the challenge.
Well, I definitely would say that Papa is that player to look out for as well. Remember how he actually turned the fight around with him being alone, and he managed to pick up a Maniac 1 versus 5.
I mean, sure, that sounds great, but you really, honestly, to me, you gotta put your eyes on Sure here. He's my personal favorite because he plays a great tank. He is so utilitarian. He knows exactly what he has to do to get his team ahead.
And of course, that's definitely both of them locking horns against each other. Well, there are so many startup players out there who is trying to prove themselves as the very best of the tournament. And we talk about the side of 10 Seconds Gaming Plus taking so many games off of other teams, and they've finally gotten 2 losses from Evo Sledges as well, but now they're trying to find a way to come back. Now let's check out some of the videos coming up online.
2回連続で勝ってそのままグループ D トップの成績で突破したいと思います。そして優勝を目指します。この日のために 毎日朝は特訓モードで自分たちの練習を個人練習しております。それが結果につながると信じています。今回のグループ D ではまだあまり大会 NPL とかでは見てないロシアチームがあるんですけれども、ロシアのチームは特殊なメタを使ってきます。トップに1人、ミドルルートに3人、ボットに1人、普通のインドネシアやフィリピンのメタと少し違うので、そこに気をつけたいと思っておりまして、であとはオニックフィリピン、こちらに対しては個人技術がもうトップレベル、そしてチームのドラフトが非常にうまいと思っております。で他のチームよりもうまいので、誰もオニックのドラフトには勝てないと思います。私たちを除いては。
Some great insights from 10 Second Gaming about their preparation coming into this tournament. And yeah, we were talking about that even in the group stages where we were kind of explaining, like, where did this team come from? What kind of preparation have been doing? And apparently they've been doing that for 2 months straight.
And they will definitely rise up early to just make sure that they get that training in hand and they prepare for every single opponent and give them well enough of respect. And of course, let's check out Axis Esports as well.
Well, looks like we're going to take our time with this, actually, because 10 Second Gaming, what's really interesting about them is how a lot of teams, I've heard, based on rumors on the side, how they're like, we don't have a lot of information on them. How do we prioritize our picks and bans? And I feel like a lot of teams I feel like 10 Second Gaming unintentionally gets under a lot of teams' skin, as well as get into their heads in the psychological game. But let's have a look at this little video.
'Kepada 10 Second Gaming, game ni biasa 10 minit, tapi untuk 3 orang kita buat 10 saat je.
Okay, I gotta give it to both of these teams. I like the trash talk here from both sides, but I definitely feel like after the FPL NYSG Season 4 that, they stepped up their trash talk game at least.
Well, I really love it because even from the Japanese side, they didn't even need to speak a word, and it already rang volumes across this entire arena. But of course, looking at how Axis Esports just responded with, games usually only last 10 minutes for us, but for you, just 10 seconds will do.
All right, the game is looking to be set up. We're getting ready to go. We're revving up those engines. These players, hopefully they're warmed up to give us one exhilarating game.
Well, my engines are up and running, and we're ready for our very first draft as well, coming up online in just a little few moments. And now, speaking of drafting, I think both sides are really flexible with their picks.
Yes.
So this is bound to be one of the most exciting games that we will possibly see for today. I'm expecting high kill volumes all across. You can just say, screw those objectives. Just go for fights.
Take those fights. Go for those bloody bouts. I'm excited to see how that plays out more than anything else. But I think 10 Second Gaming, they're calm. They're collected. They'll take fights when it's in their own right. They will dictate the pace of the game. But Axis, we know them as the people who like to throw wrenches in a lot of team players' plans. They were like, you want to go for your 1, 2, and 2? Who cares? We're going to break it down. But let's go straight into the draft before we move any further.
Now heading into game 1, we're already seeing 2 mages getting axed away. Lunox as well as Harif, both respect bans towards each other. As we saw, Rin, of course, playing a whole lot of that for Lunox. And I talked about the Papa coming out really huge with that Maniac that was displayed in the group stages. And they don't really want to get anywhere close to that. Now, more and more mages are getting taken out with the Challenger coming into the second ban of 10 Seconds Gaming Plus.
Yeah, a lot of respect from both sides, and I think Axis, they acknowledge their opponents. They're getting rid of the Raphaelia, they're getting rid of the Hara. 2 huge picks that 10 Second Gaming's have been abusing to kind of get ahead here. However, they're going to leave that export wide open.
Well, Obuya now securing that export. Well, it's really that sort of flex pick where you could still play him as a support as well. So let's see whether or not will this be a fighter sort of export coming in. But I still prefer him, of course, building a lot more tankiness and getting a whole lot more farm than just to roam around, being a ward in between those rivers. But he does have a lot of safety net, though, with that sort of Viraga armor coming into play. Now, for Axis Esports, they do have Kaja up available. They should be able to actually secure this, or, you know, they can also go in for that Esmeralda, where you see there's so little grade A sort of a mage up online, so they should go for it. And of course, how could I forget the Masha as well?
Yep, looks like they're going to be locking in the Masha for themselves. Now we're going back over to the blue side. What do they want to pick up for themselves? They had the first pick initially, but let's see how this plays out.
Well, I'm not too sure how exactly this one's going to go for them, but I did mention Kaja. I feel it's too hard to pass, but then again, they really got to find a way to actually stop that Masha as well. So there we go. Lilia has been picked during the group stages, and they will go to their trusty mage once more. Baxia has been brought out as well, and we saw how many times Total Poissons, as well as, well, we're of course having some great laugh, but that's her name because it's so hard for us.
Tortoise. Potato, same thing. But yeah, you do bring up a really good point here with the Baxia as well.
So hard to kill.
It's so difficult. I mean, both of them, especially for on the mage side, the Black Shoes is just a great option. Granger going to be locked in that locking his final pick for the first phase. Now moving into the second phase here, a lot of options are still up on the table. Both sides still need a tank. Both sides are trying to kind of figure out how are we going to punish them coming into the second phase of the bans.
Well, I like that Granger pickup as well. This is definitely for the hands of Lung, as we see him playing a lot of that during the MPL and YSG. And maybe they might reply with getting either the Claude or even well, we see a lot of carry being picked up as well. I think that's not too shabby of an option being left up on the table. Now, one more ban for the side of Axis Esports, and they are taking their sweet time. So they could actually hit in to actually remove either that Rafaela as well. Like, we remember that Obuyan plays a whole lot of that Rafaela, and look at his lineup. It's really hard to kill. If you do have that Rafaela coming in, it's going to be even tougher to actually shut them down inside of all these sort of team fights.
I absolutely agree. I think Kaja is going to be a great man here with a 60% win rate overall throughout the tournament. They've been doing such a great job with it, and whoever has it, it's so oppressive. It can be very frustrating to deal with. But I think more importantly is why are they leaving the Kufra up? They know for a fact Gushin is still on the table for the side of Axis Esports. I mean, we know for a fact that 10 Seconds Gaming, they don't want to go for the double mage comp with what they have right now. They lock in the Kufra up for Axis Esports, and now Cho as well as Gato Gacha for the side of 10 Seconds Gaming.
Whoa, beefy lineup coming in from 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. And of course, my blurry eyes forgot that Rafaela was the second ban coming in. So, of course, Kaja definitely make a whole lot more sense. But if that was left out in the open, I think that 10 Seconds Gaming Plus would have taken that with a heartbeat. Now, less its turn. And usually, we'd see
Papa trying to burst him down. Obuya's going to do the same towards Long as well, but Long will be able to get himself into safety. Obuya will try to support the rest of the members as we see the Kufra has been slain, taken off, and Evil next will be the next one on the chopping block, and Tomato will melt him like butter.
Yep, but they're sacrificing 2 members in trading for that tier 2 as Masha was able to get a really good push with Rin. Rin was nowhere near the fight. He was just making sure that Kotaka won't be able to secure a kill onto that Masha if he walks up. So they had to have an insurance policy, but that just might have netted 10-second gaming a free Lord without congestion.
Well, Access Esports need to pay a whole lot more insurance fee in that sort of sense to get themselves pretty safe before that sort of base gets crushed down by this Lord.
Oh, now with Lord in their hands, this kind of changes the game up a little bit. Immortality being bombed by Scott. He knows that if he gets caught out, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But for the most part, I think both teams are doing a fairly good job. 4K goal differential, 10-second gaming. Once Lord starts knocking on the doors of Access Esports' inhibitors, they might be able to secure themselves their final items for their carries. Like, look at that. The Winter Truncheon for the side of Papa. He's able to walk up in front because he knows he can tank the damage. He can go back in time with the black shoes. And if that's not all, Winter Truncheon just to make sure you don't get to play the game.
Oh, yeah. And Immortality, well, there's definitely that second life as well. Here comes the Lord. And now Obuya does not even want to care who's in the front line. He's diving in for Rin as well as Long, soaking enough damage only to bring him to 50%. But now Lord has emerged and Scott forcing this fight out. And they want to end this game right here, right now. Scott being brought down low. None of his members have fallen yet. Here comes Lasset though. He does have the attack speed to actually clear out the Lord. It won't be enough for him to bring it down. But the rest of the members of Access Esports getting depleted all down to low to turn this around. But this is way too much for them to handle. The Japanese side, 10 seconds gaming plus. We'll take game 1.
They played that so well. Congratulations to 10 Seconds Gaming taking game 1 away from Access Esports. Woo! I have to say, that was a pretty tough game, but overall, once the snowball got rolling, once they had Lord, they made some great decisions, and I think Access was just pushed back into a corner.
Well, I think that they definitely need to juice up in game 2. And they do have similar ideas heading in towards the draft. The way that Access Esports drafted out was almost perfect. And it's all boiling down to that execution where they just lost a lot of the control, especially towards all these Reaper fights.
I told you, the game is about being in the right place at the right time. It's all about positioning. 10 Seconds Gaming, they're very disciplined in where they stand. If they control this area, where do they have to split? Where they have to position themselves? Where do they have to be? Access Esports got caught off mid-rotation, and then they had to make a split-second decision. Okay, they're going to be able to take Lord. We can't really contest this. We're going to stick our fingers into the jungle while Masha pushes the mid lane.
I just love how smart they played this one now, and now it's really great to see them actually securing this point convincingly in that sort of sense. But there was a lot of back and forth going on between both the team, and now let's bring up the statistics here to elaborate even further. Tomibo, we talked about him, of course, coming into this playoff runs as one of the top dogs, and look at him go. He is definitely selfless as he has fallen 7 times, but look at the support as the assist went off the charts with 25 in total.
Yeah, and again, like, it's come to the point where a lot of teams are deciding, you know what, it takes way too long for these marksmen to come up online. Like, I feel like, especially with Granger, yes, he has the damage, but the tank scale enough, he's not going to do as much as he would like it to. And they're deciding, you know what, let's put Tomoe on this export. He's going to be doing a lot of early game damage. We've got Lilia on our sides. We've got Sho. Our damage dealers need 1 to 2 items to really pop off. Let's make this early game count, and they did.
Yeah, and remember how they actually start things off in definitely Sparkle and ignited a whole lot of Blazing Trolls across the enemy territories as they pressurize that buff over and over and over again, forcing them out of their territory. And Access Esports, they're out of their own playground, which they were definitely not in their comfort zone in that sort of sense. And I felt like Axis Esports need to find a little bit of way to actually counter that in that sense into Game 2.
Honestly, I think they were doing a really, really good job. It's just Lord. They have to make sure Lord is the biggest win condition for the side of 10 Second Gaming. With a composition like that, they only have one opportunity. If that Lord doesn't make a difference, they won't be able to scale. But let's have a look at the highlights.
Now starting things off, we saw Sure, of course, getting catch out, but look at Obuyan as well as Tomibo. Although he did fall, they still try to commit to take down Rin. Last Insanity to secure a 1-for-1 trade-off. Katakacha goes up in the air, gets him a little bit of security to actually run up as well. Well, Sataka, although he fell right here, look at the response coming from the rest of 10 Seconds Gaming. Papa went in to assassinate Rin alongside with Obuyan, and Sure just buying enough time, distracting Evil X as well as Long.
I think what we have to understand here is that 10 Seconds Gaming, their composition is designed to kind of do these fast rotations. I mean, you have Sure, once he goes into Boxing Shield mode, he basically can just run through the entire jungle, transverse the entire map without much to worry about. And the same thing goes with Gato. If they really need him, it's like, okay, they're pulling the trigger, how do we defend against it? We can have Gato kind of come in from the side lane and jump at least halfway across the map. That's why he's staying around the mid side for the most part, just to respond.
Yeah, that's definitely a surprising factor. We thought that it was going to be even trades, but when that Gatsukachi arrives, that's where they turn things around, gets them timed up, and this is where, of course, fighting in choke points, not really the best of ideas for the side of Axis Esports, but this was a really long extended fight where you see Evil X, he was like trading back and forth as they saw Rin supposedly entering the fight as well, but even he could not withstand the heat that's coming out of that export.
Yeah, and at the very end of the day, I mean, he's pushing back out. We're realizing, like, yes, they have a lot of damage. We can't really cut through their tanks. And if they drag out fights, they're usually going to win this. I think what they needed to do for the side of Axis Esports was really to just stop, wait, and scale, deny the win conditions from the side of 10 Second Gaming, which is Lord, and just slowly come into the game. And once that Granger is online, has his three, maybe even fourth item, he should be able to just shred through the entire team because they don't scale.
Yeah, and they definitely didn't really consider that fact that it's really hard to scale at that point. And as for 10 Seconds Gaming Plus, they're getting so tanky that it really doesn't matter if they went in for this sort of dive. Look at that. The Lord was almost gone, and they're still going for those fights, taking off Axis members one after another. And well, as they escort that sort of a final minute push, they managed to secure Game 1 in hand.
Yeah.
Pretty much in great fashion as well. And that sort of took point, the entry point towards Lord. We saw Axis just went in rushing one after another. Yes, they could tank a couple of hits, but if one of these members fall, then you know, you're just giving the green light towards 10 Second Gaming Plus to actually secure the Lord. But yet again, they bait them again and again and again. Smart moves all across.
I think that's what they want to do because, again, it's a high-risk situation. You don't want it to be a 50-50. You want it to be 100% confident that you're going to take away that Lord. And I think when it comes to a composition like this, they might want to consider picking up a Retribution just to be sure, hey, we're going to secure this. But looking at our MVP, it's going to be, of course, the man himself, Tomibo, on his X-Borg.
I just love how he played that one out. And he wasn't the type of X-Borg that went in with those flare plays where you just go in for the dives on the back line. He was just playing a front-line X-Borg. And he didn't really need to actually do too much of those sort of flashy plays like I mentioned early on. Look at the amount of damage he dealt, 23%. And, well, every single fight, he was there for the team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And more importantly, look at his most played heroes. X-Borg carry Kimmy. This guy is playing not X-Borg as a regular fighter. He wants to carry games, and that's what's super exciting about this.
Yeah, and this is the only sort of a melee hero that's being most played by himself as well.
Yeah.
Well, if you open up the Kimmy, he might have just gone for it as well, where you could also do a lot of DPS. So basically, Tomibo just wants to melt people down no matter what he picks.
Yeah.
And whether he's going to throw some arrows or spears or whatever it is, he just wants to make sure whoever's in front of him
will disappear.
Exactly. I think that's something to really consider from the side of Axis Esports, because I don't think they were expecting, the X-Borg to be the carry pick of all of a sudden. But looks like we've got an interview video coming up real soon here, and I'm excited to see what they kind of have to say. But let's have a look at that interview video now.
Apa yang paling bermakna untuk kami ialah keserasian antara kami semua. Bagaimana di sebalik kelainan individu kami masih boleh mencapai satu impian bersama. Keserasian tak semestinya bermaksud yang kami mesti tahu apa yang setiap ahli kumpulan fikirkan. Tetapi, kalau kami boleh faham cara pemikiran setiap kami boleh bergerak selari, beraksi selari sesama kami. Barulah kami boleh menjadi kuat sebagai satu kumpulan. Kerjasama tak bermakna dengan tiadanya keselarian, terutamanya di dalam dunia kami sekarang. Di dunia e-sports kini, kami tak mampu untuk bertindak keseorangan. Kami berlatih bersama, kami makan bersama, kami harungi detik-detik cemas dan gembira bersama setiap masa. Sebab itu, keselarian sesama kami sangat penting. Kami sentiasa ada bersama dengan satu matlamat untuk semua yang kami inginkan, mimpi dan harapan menjadi realiti, untuk menjadi lebih baik lagi dalam apa yang kami perjuangkan, dan semestinya
untuk menang di setiap pertempuran.
Main turnamen M1 ni, kita orang cuba dapatkan yang terbaik lah. Itu dari segi kemampuan kita orang mungkin top 5.
So for our M1 preparation, we have the training schedule. So we have like 10 hours per day training schedule lah. So like 8 hours we like sparring with any other teams. Then the other 2 hours we try meta in the rank.
Untuk opponent yang kuat dekat M1 ni, mungkin banyaklah tim-tim luar tu yang kami tak kenal, tak tahu, tak pernah lawan pun. Tapi opponent yang paling kami agak gerun tu macam EVOS Indo, Vietnam team. Tu antara tim yang kita orang agak gerun lah. Tapi kita orang cuba lawan.
So for M1 we don't really have a special strategy or what. Just we recently have a coach, so he tried to fix everything from basic lah to advance, to fix what we can lah for this M1.
Working real hard to reach the top. That's Axis Esports. They're training day and night, at least about 8 to 10 hours a day.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, that's definitely a full-time professional esports player's duty, as they are trying to be not only the best of the nation, the best in the world. And now they are 1 point away from the brink of defeat.
Yeah, it's sad to say that they are, but I don't think they should give up just yet. They still have an opportunity to maybe reverse sweep this into their favor. Is it something they can do? We've seen it before. They've done it in Season 2 of the MPL MYSG. We're just going to have to hope that they need the support of that crowd, because we know for a fact this is a crowd team. Once they have those cheers, their blood is pumping. They just need to get that goal lead, and the snowball will begin.
Once upon a time, they were known as the underdogs, and today they are no longer the underdogs, and they should not perform like one as well. Now it's time for us to head into Game 2 to see whether Axis Esports can bounce back for Game 2. Rafaela being banned away, same goes to Lunax, so we're seeing similar strategies heading in towards Game number 2. And now, match point. for 10 Seconds Gaming Plus.
Yeah, and 10 Seconds Gaming, I think they're going to go with the same particular bans. They're going to force out that Gushin super early here. And I think Axis Esports, they have to consider what they want to get rid of, because again, you are expecting 10 Seconds Gaming to go for something like the X-Borg, or maybe force out an option from Axis Esports to really counter and really punish.
Well, I do like that X-Borg ban, and MVP over onto the side of Tomibo for great reasons right there, and they gave him enough of respect. And of course, Harif now is getting locked away, knowing for the fact that Axis Esports can play the same sort of picks that they do. And as I mentioned it will be Lilia taken away from 10 Seconds Gaming Plus.
Interesting. They go for the Lilia really early on. I guess Axis Esports really just wants to deny a lot of these picks and force out the hero pool coming in from 10 Seconds Gaming. However, you gotta remember, Tomibo isn't the only carry here. The rest of the team works together. They have Kaja, they have Grok, they have Kufra, some of the high priority picks in the tournament for the longest period of time since the conception of MLBB. We're just gonna see whether or not they're gonna be locking in. Yes, it is. It's gonna be the Grok as well as the Kaja.
Pretty classic picks heading towards the hands of 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. Well, last game we saw Kaja being left out in the first phase. They did not opt to choose it over so many other picks that's out there. Now, heading back towards the Axis Esports side, balls on their court here to pick up something strong. Well, we saw some contests from Foxtail. I'm not too sure if Axis Esports is comfortable enough to actually play on that. And yep, we're having a little bit of look of the Prismans as well, where we also see a lot of all these sort of picks like Kufra, who's possibly able to actually be hovered upon and snatched away here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, snatched away, I wouldn't say too much, but then again, this is 10 Seconds Gaming. I wouldn't be too surprised if they decided, like, hey, let's try out something funky here. Let's make Kaja an absolute monster as a mage. Like, I want to see something like that, but again, I think they're smart enough to know that won't be the way to go. Axis Esports, on the other hand, they lock in the high lows. They know for a fact they can't be counterpicked by the Boxia anymore because they have the both supports. But is this going to be a traditional composition, or is this going to be meta? It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, at this point in time, we're just gonna gotta wait for phase number 2 to come into effect to really see what's in store for us. But looking from the side of Axis Esports here, there's of course the newer classical meta that we're looking at throughout the entire group stages. Now, Chao being removed. Well, what do you feel about this ban? Because it has fallen off the radar in terms of ban ratios, but it's still something that 10 Seconds Gaming Plus do rely on.
Well, I mean, now he's less, most of the time, especially in this tournament meta of M1, we've been seeing him being used as a fighter more often than, you know, your secondary tank. It's going to be the Selena pickup for the side of 10 Second Gaming. And yeah, Cho has just not been doing as well as we'd like to after so many nerfs during the patch. It kind of hurts him for sure. But 10 Seconds Gaming, with that Selena, you know for a fact they are going to either look to hit level 2 as quickly as possible and go for those big kills and invades. River control is going to be key.
Tomibo, the star player of 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. I'm really hoping to see this Selena to be in his hands. And we've seen him with some great skill shots, and he possibly will be able to land a couple of clutch abyssal arrows if that's the case. Now, back towards the side of Axis Esports here. Here comes their signature Franco. Daring moves alongside with the Bruno here. So, with this, they respond with the Hayabusa all the way from Japan.
Okay, this is a matchup I've been waiting to see for the long time, the Hayabusa into Masha matchup, because we know for a fact Hayabusa is an absolute beast when it comes to the 1v1s, but Masha, at a certain point in time, she's going to absolutely outscale Hayabusa, and he won't be able to do as much damage as he would like. It's really about who gets the lead here for the control over the side lanes.
Well, definitely side lane pressure will be priority for either sides of these teams. And not only that, previous game, it was all about that objective pressure that we see heading in towards phase 1, where pre-level 4, there's already so much going on, especially when they used to have the expert. Now they don't really have that expert, and a lot of all these core tanks being snatched away by Axis Esports here. Well, they still have a lot to actually play with, especially with Selena. One good arrow might just be the death of Axis Sports members.
Agreed, and I think both team compositions have some really good plus points. We can see like 10-second gaming. They're trying to keep control over the early stages of the game. They have a lot of kill pressure with the Selena and the Grok. They're going to be able to go for these bigger invades. Level 1 is going to be pretty interesting, but I think we have to remember that Axis Esports, if they get a lead, so what? You steal our buff away, but if we get that lead and Franco gets one good iron hook, the oppression will begin. You're not going to be safe under your turret. You're not going to be safe walking to take in your buffs. You won't even be safe sitting in the river.
I certainly agree with that, because Franco poses such a huge threat from the early game to the late game, and if they do connect those hooks, then, well, there's only two ways to respond. Either you let go of that member, or you commit to that fight,
or you just sit there and just let it happen. It's not exactly an option. You
let natural process take me.
Yeah, just take me away and make this end quick. But yeah, with the Bloody Hunt, it just feels like that you're locked down for so long. You pick one guy, you tell him you don't get to play the game this time, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how both of these teams kind of want to play this out, because that first 3 minutes is going to be the most crucial minutes for both of them.
Well, let's see how they're going to fare in that first 2 minutes, or perhaps because Axis Esports now being on the back foot here, they might play a little bit safe, but then again, the competitors say otherwise as well. Now, we're ready to get ourselves into the game, but before that, these are your players once more, as we will be heading in towards the battlegrounds really soon. So, you've already seen the draft.
Yep.
Who do you favor more?
I don't know, man. I think it's so dependent on that level 1 start. Where are they gonna go? How are they gonna invade? Where are they gonna attack on the map? That it matters so much, because it determines just the core and the shape of the game. Mid game is basically decided by who wins it early. Late game is who can survive long enough and to not get caught by either the Abyssal Arrow or the Iron Hook. But it's time to go into game. Let's get straight into the action of Game 2 between Axis Esports versus 10-second Gaming.
Malaysian fans are roaring out, hoping for the game tree to come up. And fun fact, if you guys missed out some of all these games for today, a lot of all these games have ended up in a 2-0 victory. Well, some may say landslide, and I would say it's just really hard games for both of these teams, as some of them has already been goodbye, and that's definitely something that we don't really look forward to. Oh, Tamibo!
I mean, that was a good iron hook, but he didn't get the buff, unfortunately. I think that was the idea. He probably should have just yanked the buff just to, slow down the process, deny the level 2, and then go in for the kill. But good delay overall for the side of Scott.
Unpleasant surprise from across. And imagine that will be a pretty much trollish Tamibo! Second time in a row. It says, nope, I'm going to snatch this one. No hooks for you.
That was about to be 300 IQ, I'm not going to lie. Tataka going to get some damage onto that Bruno, but Axis is already gone with the early rotations. They're going to lock him down. Tamibo's in trouble. He's not going to get away from Scott.
Well, some may say in third time's a charm. The third hook lands and delivered Axis Esports their first blood.
That's so good. Now look, he's going to have to keep control of this. They want to punish the Hayabusa. This is some bad timing, but looking at it, looks like Hayabusa is going to make it out. I don't know. He goes down.
Well, some say you don't have to look at cool guys as they execute some of all these tricks up their sleeves, but now 2-0 Axis Esports, the aggressors here of Buyan, trying to actually land a good Divine Judgment if he ever reaches level 4, but hell, he's just carrying them because he's still level 2.
And surprisingly enough, despite all the aggression coming in from Axis Esports, 10-second Gaming is able to zone away the Basha and take first turret.
Well, that's definitely something that I was not expecting heading in towards less than 2 minutes of the game. Well, great trade-off in that sort of sense. I would basically do the same if I do have some great team currency like 10 seconds game plus, but Evil X getting caught in between. Great charge coming in from Suray, but the health of these members of 10 seconds game plus are dropping down, but yet again, they secure one kill in the back.
Oh, that's really frustrating, especially if you're in Scott, because he was trying to look for an angle to get for a good goal for a really good iron hook. However, the gargoyle is just like, nope, I'm aggro and I'm going to swap right in front of your face. And he didn't get a clean shot onto the enemy team for that iron hook.
Wow, I just feel like it's pretty much unfortunate. This esports going on a little bit of a reset. Let's have a look at our instant replay brought to you by U-Mobile.
Just look at Scott. He's just like, I can't get an angle. This stupid gargoyle's in my face. But yeah, the Revitalize, it was looking good for a moment, and then they realized, oh no, they have too much damage. Our cooldown, we're right off of cooldowns. We don't have a lot of time, and Tomebo got all the damage he needed to get.
Now, 10 Seconds Gaming Plus setting up a little bit of camp for the turtle push. If any one of these members from Axis Esports go for a little bit of a peek, and in that sort of sense, it's going to be Evil X just passing through, giving him a little bit of a free pass, and now they might just go for it and engage.
Yeah, they're going to. Glorious Pathway already down. Axis Evil X is in a lot of trouble. That Ring of Punishment isn't going to be enough as they walk away. Rest of the team. Oh, Abyssal Arrow lands. Luke has to purify. He's gone out of there. They are chucked down to 1 HP. Rin, he does so much work, but Luke has to get out of there. But he can't. He has one slide tackle to make it work. He tries to go through. He's stuck with a Guardian's Barrier. They go down. It's a 3-for-1 trade.
Stuck in the rock and hard place. Now, 10 Seconds Gaming Plus heading down to the bottom side, crashing it out, and this will be yet another turn for the Japanese side. The Malaysians slowly losing that pressure. One more instant replay to catch what just happened, because Evil X, he was on the safety net, but Sure as well as Papa, look at how they just dove right in to secure that double kill for the carry. And Tomebo could easily just slowly chunk them down, especially with Papa taking down the wave and eventually close things out against Bloom. Back in the game we go.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate because that was a strong 50-50 that Rin might have been able to clutch it out. But again, just the movement of Gloom is so slow. He takes such a long time to move from one place to another without that Ice Queen's wand. And the moment he gets the Ice Queen's wand, it's a completely different story. But he didn't have it at the time. He black shoes backwards into the team and ends up dying. It's like, no, that has got to suck.
Yeah, that definitely will be a little bit tilting. Obuyan buying that Shadow Mask as well, so that's going to be a little bit of that surprise factor. But over the top side, we missed out on a little bit of that kill. Of course, we still saw Tataka was defending the tower with his own dear life. A bit of rotation towards the mid lane as they try to crash this in. And one more tower for the side of 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. Well, there's going to be a little trade up over the top, of course.
Remember what I said? It's all about the early game. And so far, it looked like Axis was doing a good job until they lost 3 members. And now 10 Second Gaming is just going to take and keep control over the river line. Like, if you see Axis walk into the river line, they are very cautious. They have to play a safe game. And they're not willing to walk up. They don't have their tier 1s to give them that vision across the map.
And it's so great to actually see how they protect the carries as well, coming from 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. 3-0-2 for the carry. Already finishing off with that endless battle. Slowly going in for maybe a Demon Hunter Sword or even a Golden Staff in that sort of sense much later on. And, well, Axis Esports now playing a little bit safer. And Evil X spots out Sure.
I think they just don't have a choice. They're 5k down, and now Sure has got a good catch onto Evil X. This is what they want to do. Walk into our jungle. I dare you. I double dare you.
Oh, speaking of dare.
No,
there we go. There we go.
Take it. Rin's in trouble. He goes down. The rest of the team goes down. Tomebo is right on top of him. Exclassive pulls on backwards. Obuya low on health, but still isn't afraid to walk up.
That perfect abyssal arrow coming out of Papa. Lands that shot. And when we talk about it way early on in the draft, instant death delivered.
Oh my goodness. I definitely thought, for sure, I was thinking Selena Tomebo was going to jump onto Rin, killing him, but then he wouldn't have options of getting back out. So he played that fight so slow and was so patient. They knew they secured the kill onto Rin. They was just thinking of how to do it more efficiently.
Well, efficiency is the name of the game, and we're looking at Scott here getting pulled back. Instead, he's got the reversal with the Divine Judgment. Here comes Evil X with the righteous pathway, but he's not. He's stuck by the wall. He doesn't need the Grok to even block him on his tracks.
Yeah, and the rest of 10 Second Gaming, they've developed a 7k goal lead here, and that's so huge for them because now they have no options to really come back into this game, and Axis is just waiting for a mistake by 10 Seconds Gaming. Let's look at a replay one more time. Like, Scott, this in theory, this was a good idea until he realized, oh no, this is Kaja. He gets locked instantaneously by the Divine Judgment, gets yanked backwards. There's nothing he can do there.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm not too sure if those Iron Hooks
it's going to be any greater than that here. But over on top side there, we see OG Shadow Kill finishing one more off. Whoa! God, like, Tomibo. Whoa, I'm not too sure. There's so much of all these sort of pressure coming from each of these members of 10 Seconds Gaming Plus that Axis Esports could not even decide who to take down first.
Yeah, it's tough because again, their core members are super strong, and Carrie is never going to be in a fight. She's never going to be right up in front, and if Franco can't find a single angle, it's going to be tough. Rin can wave clear, but again, it's risky. It's starting to get super risky because Obuya is starting to disrespect them. He's willing to walk up to their faces. He's willing to threaten them with that Divine Judgment insta-kill.
And I love how they are actually playing so safely. Although they do have a huge lead, they never drop a single death. They're already buying immortality at 8-minute mark. And now, here we go. A little dive coming in from the side of 10 Seconds Game Plus.
Oh my goodness, Grok just chucked everybody out. There's nothing he can do. They're going to try and break that inhibitor. Obuya throw. But once again, just waiting to launch on to that Divine Judgment, but nobody goes down. They break the inhibitor. They're saying objectives first, fighting later. Axis slowly getting choked out of this game. 9K in favor of 10 Second Gaming.
Well, I'm not too sure if there's any sort of miraculous run left for Axis Esports 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. It seems like they just don't make mistakes. They are so clinical in every single approach that they're taking, and now even Axis knows they cannot afford to get anywhere close to this lore. They have to give it away to 10 Seconds Gaming Plus.
Yeah, and Lawson is their only win condition at this point. Like, he has to somehow get pressure, but now that the inhibitors are gone, even that seems to be very unlikely for the side of Axis Esports. It's just a ticking time bomb, and 10 Seconds Gaming will choke Axis out.
Athena shield being bought out by Evil X, but I'm not too sure if that will make that high loss tanky enough in that sort of sense. Now, Lord marching out of the mid lane here. They're gonna slowly escort those little bit of those minions heading from the top side in towards the base as well as the bottom lane. Well, look at how they're all split up. 1-3-1 formation. Well, could I say 1-4-1 because the Lord's joining in too.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job. And now, Masha's in a dangerous position. You can already see the moment she walks back out, the team starts moving on. They have the Shadow Max to kind of protect the rotation.
Whoa!
That's a huge catch. The suppression, the Bloody Hunt goes down. Immortality goes through. Scott goes down. They're just too far ahead. Tomato is still alive as they start knocking on to Death Star. Evil Eyes dropping down the glorious pathway. And now, Lord is hitting down the crystal. They traded 1 for 2. They need to defend this. This is a good opportunity.
They're going in.
They go in. Tataka instantly pops them up. And now we have a winner.
Oh boy, and lands the finishing blow. And now we're looking at 10 Seconds Gaming Plus heading in to a lower bracket semifinals here with a 2-0 sweep. And they're continuing the tradition in day one where all these teams that emerge victorious takes 2 straight games.
Woo! 10 Seconds Gaming, 2-0 all the way through. These guys are absolute monsters.
Every single second, this game was heart-throbbing for every one of the spectators to watch, and it is definitely a heartbreaking sight for some of all these Malaysian fans.
Agreed, especially for all the fans who bothered to come out here today. To just look at such a crushing defeat is a little demoralizing, but you gotta remember we still have another representative, Todak, in the making, and I'm pretty sure 10 Seconds Gaming won't be having such a great time knocking out more and more people as they go through the lower brackets.
We saw the likes of Rexford Gumkion, of course, of taking down Todak, but it was not an easy task at all.
Yeah.
We saw Todak really going blow for blow and kills after kills. They're going to do the same thing to 10 Seconds Gaming Plus. Can they upkeep with the pressure? We will have to find out tomorrow. And I just love, no matter how hard they actually fought out, no matter how tight these sort of the rivalries can get, there's huge respect out of the game as well.
And you can even hear just the applause from the crowd for 10 Seconds Gaming as well as Axis Esports. It was a beautiful matchup so far. And honestly, why don't we have an MPL Japan? Because right now we need these guys. We need more info. We need to see more 10 Second Gaming.
We need to also see who else does 10 Second Gaming Plus play against, because whoever turned these guys from that sort of a stable horse into these monsters crushing Titans, and now these horses are trampling all over teams and they're trying to cause this stampede.
Yeah, and we got to see the stats in a little bit. I'm excited to see how, because it's going to be heavily skewed into 10 Seconds Gaming's favor. But yeah, I mean, the game, I'm not too surprised how it ended up turning out. But let's look at the stats just to prove my point, because for the most part, we know for a fact that 3 minutes into the game, such a huge blunder coming out of Axis Esports. They took a 50-50, they lost 3 members trading for 1, and then from then on out, 10 Seconds Gaming just locked them out of the game.
Yeah, and as we look into the damage output of the game, it's really surprising that the Bruno actually dished just as much as what the Grok almost did as well. Of course, Grok did a lot in the early phase of the game, but 44k coming out of the carry. Papa, I talked about Papa here being one of the best marksmen of this entirety of the tournament. He's coming out with 1k gold per minute.
Yep.
Like every minute you get 3 minutes you can buy a major item. That's how rich this guy is.
Yeah, he's absolutely crushing it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, whoo! It is scary to see him play, but how are they going to kind of, so far, I feel like 10 Seconds Gaming, people don't know a lot about them. They don't know their priority picks. They don't know how big their hero pool is. And now it got into Axis Esports' head. Like, they were getting rid of the Export, the Harith. They forgot about, the basic fundamentals. But let's look at these highlights before we go any further.
Well, you'd call it a sort of a that hero pool. I will call it an ocean, and wow, look at them go. And Totaka alongside with Obuya. Look at that survey back and forth. They know how to position so well, and they know that limitation. And speaking of limitations here, look at that. Obuyan sets things up, especially with the Grok as well. Suri always making sure that he stays all the way up front, soaking a little bit more damage. But Rin tried to his best to actually stall things out, and he did get at least a single kill. But look at Long. He had no more to actually do right below that tower as he gets stuck with that great barrier upon him.
I mean, this has just been a tough game overall, because there is no real way to explain, like, how can Axis come back into the game. It's so dependent, because in this game, they can't really force out the mistakes. They don't have a lead. They don't have any goal to back them up to say, hey, I can threaten you for lethal unless I get a really good catch. If 10 Seconds Gaming, as long as they avoid that Franco, they are basically impervious, because they had a 5k goal lead. They were 1 item ahead, and they turned it into a 9k goal lead, took Lord, and just like, all right, we can just wait this one out.
Yeah, and they just slowly win it off as well. And look at how 10 Seconds Gaming Plus played this one. And all these cartwheels and all these auto attacks just immediately take down that Hylos as if that Hylos didn't even build any sort of items at all. He just went down straight. And look at this. Sure just soaking all of that, using that wall charge, and eventually, once they open up this tower, that go time where they just say, let's bring out the Lord.
Yeah, I mean, that final catch towards the end, they're breaking the immortality. There's just no way they were going to win this fight. The immortality is such a powerful item to have when you have such a large goal lead. 12k by the end of the game here. These are just the final few moments that Axis was just trying to hold on. They got, I'm not going to lie, they got pretty close here.
Yeah, that was really close to actually salvage what they have. It's trying to take down the Lord, but you know, they don't really have enough of that DPS either. And if Franco goes in for any sort of hook, that was the initiation coming in from him. And I think that was definitely a valiant attempt. But remember, there's so many of these possibilities that it could land on one member with immortality, which means it wouldn't be any effective anyways. And that's how 10 Seconds Gaming Plus played a smart game. I gotta say, they are the team with the biggest of wins.
Yeah, and I think everybody is surprised at the tournament and how well they have been performing. I mean, honestly, we have to give a shout to Group D, because apparently all the best teams were just packed into just one group. But we're going to be showing you the MVP in a little bit. Who's it going to be? Let's have a look.
Well, I'm guessing it's going to be the guy who plays the carry. And there you go. Papa is coming right at you with that perfect 10-kill KDA of 4.5.
I just love how every single time we see Papa back up on screen, it's just like farming, great, fighting, great, pushing, nah, supporting, nah. Just nah.
Yeah, it's like, nah, supporting is not really my kind of job. But look at him go. From carry to Grok to expert and Badang. He's a fighter mainly, as well as a tank, but they are so flexible. They just have surprises. And I guess this is 1 out of 9 of that secret recipe as they finally unveiled this secret weapon
in the form of Papa.
Oh, it's so scary how good this team is. They've been prepping for so long. And looking at the carry build itself, you can see he didn't decide to go for the Thunderbelt, go for something super greedy. He decided to go for the Bloodlust Axe as his third item to be like, hey, I am not going to die.
Yeah, and they were invincible, indestructible, and pretty much shout out to Manjin, who's also supporting the side of 10 Seconds Game Plus right behind it. It's just showing me an okay sign. I'm just going to reply with an okay as well. But, well, that was definitely some fine action that we just saw, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a whole lot more coming right back at you for day number 2. Have you guys got your tickets? If you guys are not sure, you guys are missing out on the biggest event of the year for Mobile Legends.
So big. Have you seen the stage? It's absolutely ridiculous here. This small camera can't even show you the perspective of how large it is. But let's have a look at the interview.
Sama Obu yang daripada 10 Second Gaming. Congratulations. Okay, so apa perasaan you bila dapat tahu 10 Second Gaming masih berpeluang untuk bertanding di M1 pada hari besok?
じゃあ先におめでとうございます。もう勝ち抜いて気持ちはどう思いますか？
そうですね。今回はアクシス e スポーツ、ずっと研究してきたチームで、彼らはミドレーナーが非常にうまいので、どうやって倒したらいいのか、研究して、それが活かせた、ので勝つことができました。
Kita memang dah plan dan research pasal Axis. So dengan research kita memang study Axis team betul-betul dan kita execute semua dia punya skills dan kita punya skills pun, dan dengan itu kita dapat menang.
I see. So maksudnya sebelum ini 10 Second Gaming betul-betul dah kaji and dah prepare untuk bertarung dengan Axis.
Ya, yeah, betul.
Kita nak tahu apa, sebab you adalah salah satunya wakil daripada Jepun, apa harapan yang you nak bawa ke Jepun untuk supporter you?
はい、なんか皆さんは、日本代表としてだからこの大会から何を取り戻すか、はい、一言。はい、
そうですね。日本ではまだモバイルレジェンドリーグというものがなくて、プロチームとかもほとんどないので、これを機に日本が強いということを証明して、そういうのにつながればいいなと思います。
Okay. Sebab kat Jepun Mobile Legend ataupun League dia tak famous, tak berluasa. Jadi sebagai Jepun punya team, kita ingin tunjuk kekuatan kita, dan hari ini kita dapat tunjuk yang kita ni adalah kuat, dan berharap satu dunia dapat lihat Jepun punya strength dan kekuatannya.
So ini adalah jejak pertama, langkah pertama untuk Mobile Legends kembali bersinar di Jepun. Okay, so guys, jangan lupa datang besok sebab kita still ada 4 match untuk besok, dan juga besok kita ada K-Click. You kena K-Click tak? Tengok, 10 Second Gaming pun minat K-Click tak? So you guys jangan lupa datang besok dan kita kembali ke Desk Host. Thank you.
Great interview overall. Some very good words. I mean, it shows a lot that how much preparation can do and push you so far in a tournament as well.
Yeah, and not only that, humility as well as respect. With that respect,
truly,
you do your studies, and they did that due diligence to get themselves so well prepped for every single one of these matches. And now, let's have a look through the brackets to see what's in store for us for tomorrow. So today, before we wrap up all these games here with Rex Regumkyun moving up towards the semifinals alongside with EVOS Legends on the upper bracket, as they will face off against each other, and only one of these Indonesian teams will be heading towards the grand finals in the first phase of the day, and maybe another will be able to climb out from that lower bracket. Now, heading towards the lower side, let's break it down as well.
Yeah, I mean, so chat, put it in chat. Who do you think is going to be making out of the lower brackets to meet their competitors at the very end? Sunspark versus Burmese Ghouls. Is it going to be 10-second gaming against Todak? I love the spread of it, and I feel like, you know, EVOS versus RRQ, it's going to be a huge bout, and I think a lot of people are like, that is going to be the grand finals. EVOS or RRQ, one of them is going to get knocked down, they're going to smash everybody else and move up, but I don't think so, you know? I kind of feel that whoever gets knocked down from that upper bracket is going to take such a blow that it might give and open a window for one of these four teams to actually take them out and go to that grand final.
Yeah, but one thing secure for them is that they at least will secure a top 3 finisher in that sort of sense. So, well, prize pool aside, of course, they're still looking to bring that glory home and towards, you know, whether it's a gaming house or just to show it to the marks.
The bragging rights.
It's definitely the bragging rights in that sort of sense. But lower brackets, that's the danger zone. When we talk about Japan, who now moving one step ahead, tomorrow facing yet again another Malaysian team. And after taking out Axis Esports, tomorrow they'll be facing against Todak. And we saw Sunsparks also coming up ahead.
Yeah, and Sunsparks is already a huge competitor in this tournament in itself. The Philippines are going to be rooting for their final representative. Hopefully they can make it all the way towards the end, and I think that's what they're hoping for too.
That's right, and Burmese Ghosts. Let's not forget about Burmese Ghosts right here, because that's the hot favorites of Myanmar. We saw some of these fans flying from all the way from Myanmar just to watch them right here in Axiata. You can do the same as well. And now this will be tomorrow's games to be played out. Starting off, we have Sunsparks versus Burmese Ghosts at 11 a.m. early in the morning, so make sure you wake up for that. And of course, 10 Seconds Game Plus versus Todak Esports.
Ooh, delectable. RRQ versus EVOS Esports going to be the second final game of that day to finally go to that lower bracket match in 8 to see which one of those competitors will be moving on.
That's right. That's definitely going to be a repeat of the MPL Indonesia Grand Finals in that sense, to see who will be heading towards the true Grand Finals of M1 World Championship 2019. Now, we're going to call it a day right here, as it has been a real long one, but I definitely enjoyed myself alongside with Kid and Q right here. And of course, shout out to the rest of the casters who's doing a great job, as well as the hosts on deck, as we have Fiora as well as the Hound, who delivered such a great job. And of course, big thank you to all of you guys who've been watching, or from home or from the stadium. And we also like to shout out to our sponsors as well as our organizers.
Yeah, we got to thank our official sponsors, U Mobile, live on streaming on YouTube Gaming, as well as our final one, Unton, for making this all happen, presented by them as well. So thank you to every single one of them. We're going to be wrapping it up here. See you tomorrow.
Masih belum pasti, gaya-gaya dia dalam pada cukup kali kedua. Mimi masih dikejar, tetapi ada Fah di bagian belakang. Dogi tetapi jatuh. Wan dalam keadaan bahaya, itu dia harus tahu dengan telah jatuh. Tetapi Wan, Marco, unstoppable. Mendapatkan satu, tetapi Masha sudah masuk. Mendapatkan Johan, tetapi Masha, Allah.
Triple kill. Maniac.
Yang pertama dan Lucky tidak begitu bertuah dan akan menjadi pantas daripada Lord. Walaupun wow, damage yang besar dikeluarkan di bagian belakang, usahakan dicari, penalti zone dibuka, seorang demi seorang, tumpas di tangan pemain Sunspark. Lucky di bagian hadapan, diayun dengan serangan dilakukan oleh Croc. Mega kill untuk Kimi mencari yang kedua, tetapi fokus mereka begitu saja. Tembakan bertubi-tubi dan mereka flicker ke hadapan. Damage dicari kepada High yang terus terkorban. Begitu saja, tembakan bertubi-tubi dan mereka flicker ke hadapan. Damage dicari kepada High yang terus terkorban. Begitu dari Ikan daripada Divine Judgment menarik laki, tetapi Dominant Blast dicari. Dua orang terkena stun. Hai di bahagian hadapan cuba untuk menyerap semua shield yang ada. Shutdown menjatuhkan JP. Sudah mendapatkan double kill. Mencari yang kedua, tetapi damage belum lagi ada. Broly menggunakan Deadly Stinger ke semua mereka. Nyawanya sangat-sangat rendah. Hai sekali lagi menggunakan Star Moonfall, mendapatkan kill demi kill. Mencari yang kedua. Rezio ada immortality, tetapi dia juga
masuk cuba nak pergi kepada Marksman, tapi pergi kepada Kufra. 4 orang pada tim Jepun sudah berada di dalam itu, di mana lagi buka, tetapi Diamond Crane memperhentikannya. Lagi segini dibuka, Avatar ketiganya telah dilepaskan. Evil X sebanyak 6 boleh mengelakkan skor daripada terkena, dan itu dia job daripada Jack, tapi Rin pula di bahagian tepi terpaksa berundur. Tomebo ingin dijumpai oleh Tomebo. Fire Missile cuba nak mengelakkan aksi daripada datang ulang, tapi mereka datang juga. Lihat bagaimana mereka bertempur di bahagian bottom lane ini. Long menjaga posisi di bahagian belakang. Rhapsody Rondo, tetapi skor loyalty terkena pula dengan Tomebo. X-Bomb berjaya mendapatkan kill, pergi pula kepada Evil X. Evil X sedang dikejar, dibakar hijau-hijau, tapi Evil X mereka takut, tapi Wan ada cantik, tetapi Evil X mendapatkan serban dari Hayabusa. Hadirkan diri dengan Shell Fury.
Sini bisa dulu.